everybody? Welcome to the IronMike Podcast via video. Man, this is the debut. Never done this before. First time, but it's the first time for everything, right? So, hey, I am so excited here today with my guest, Miss Tandreia Dixon. What is going on?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. Can't complain at all.
Awesome. I think the most important question is, and I love to ask everybody, especially in the times of climate in which we in, how are you doing in 2020?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing well. This year has been a challenge, but by the grace of God, I've made it through, and so I'm excited about that. So, but I can't complain at all.
I think when this year is at its end, I think you're going to have the people that don't even party and celebrate. When it's January 1, 2021, you're going to see them turn up too.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So I'm excited to just talk about your brand, and we'll get to that shortly.
Okay.
I'm really excited what you got going on with it, and I know the folks will be as well. But just talk to us a little while, really just, who you are, your story, and just your background and just where you grew up from.
Okay. Well, thank you. So I am a native of Eastern North Carolina, specifically Trenton, North Carolina. I am currently in the supply chain industry as a consultant. I travel around to, different clients, helping to make sure that their processes are more efficient, more effective, powered by technology. And so just with my journey, I have found that I'm headed toward a direction to be, I guess, be more focused on purpose and impacting the lives of others, as well as entrepreneurship. So currently, I have started Dixon Brands as a way to, one, build legacy. So what I found is that, God has blessed me with the opportunity to have a great job, but, I've worked hours and hours and hours. I've burnt out, had to take time for work, but working for somebody else and someone else's legacy. And granted, what I've received in return has helped me, right? But I wanted to do something to incorporate my family, as well as to be able to leave a legacy for my children and my children's children. So, yeah. I'd say another thing too is family of entrepreneurs. And so, that's also inspired me to be able to have faith in the seed of, what my family members, my father, my uncles, my aunts have put into me, but not only them, but also God. So I'm just excited to be able to, have faith in myself, have faith in what God put in me so that I could leap out and fulfill purpose.
Right. So the biggest thing for you is, the legacy and leaving something just for, future generations, but also as well, you saw that entrepreneurship side really in your lineage as well.
Yeah.
And that was a big influence to you to really get this brand, off the ground and started. Am I hearing you right on that?
Yes. That's definitely a huge component. To be able to have something to pass down, because one thing that I've learned, I've been in industry now for about 7 years. And what I've learned is, I don't care if you make a 6-figure plus salary, right? But when you leave that job, that stays with that job, right? You can't pass that down to, your children or your auntie or your niece or nephew that, maybe need some help or something. So when you use your entire being, your mind, your will, your emotions, your energy, your time, missing out on family events and stuff like that to be able to push another person's vision forward. Don't have that, right? that pass down to like your seed or your family, that makes a difference. And that's another reason why I wanted to start Dixon Brands.
Right. And I mean, too, it's like you said, is, you know, when we talk about legacy, right? Oftentimes, a lot of us are working for someone else's legacy, like you mentioned. We're clocking into those 9 to 5s, and we're feeding someone else's vision and legacy versus what are we cultivating for our own. I think that's a powerful statement that you made.
Thank you.
So most definitely, most definitely. How much growing? Because I don't think most of the audience may understand. I would love for you to break it down, just in your eyes. Growing up in Trenton, North Carolina, it's a rural, small town of about 300 people. So talk to me about growing up in Trenton. You know, was there a time where you felt like, you know, what you see now and what is, you know, playing itself out now? Was there a time in growing up in Trenton that kind of like started that seed, if that makes sense?
Well, this is what I'll say, right? Like you said, Trenton, you're from there as well, right? We're from the same stomping ground, right?
Right.
It's a rural community, and a lot of what you have access to is limited, right? So I'm from an area where the people have to be very resourceful. You have to use what you have, right, to make it through, or any problems that you have, right? You know, we use what we have to solve those problems. And so I think, you know, growing up around my mother and, you know, my father, Sam, my uncle Andre, you know, just growing up and just the way of life, you know, that taught me, inspired me a lot. But I think the number one point is being resourceful and using what you have to solve a problem or to, you know, get what you need done, right? So I think that's one of the biggest things. And so I'll piggyback off of that and going back to the legacy and having faith to be able to take a leap and step out on entrepreneurship. Like basically everything that we have, right? We already have on the inside, the skills, you know, being resourceful, you know, the environments that we grew up in, like all that stuff, like we have that. So basically what I'm doing is I'm using what's been cultivated. I'm using the environment that I grew up in, all of that to be able to launch and do what I'm doing now.
Right. And that's inspiring, you know, just having those different seeds inside of you. Like you said, it's been there the whole time. It's just, usually it takes for some people, there's that one moment where the light just clicks on. For most, in my opinion, I think it takes a series of events for things to just play itself out and to finally realize, okay, there's something bigger on the inside of me that was in there all along. And you spoke big on your faith as well, you know, and faith is, you know, believing in what you don't see.
Yeah.
And it's that vision, and it's that inspiration, and, you know, and you saw that even starting at an early age and growing up in Trenton, you know, you understood how important it was to be resourceful, you know, to use everything that you have, and not even just everything that you have, but also to be creative with what you have as well. Because I think about literally growing up in Trenton, at least for me, like, you know, how in the Bible, Jesus, you know, fed, you know, the 5,000 with very, 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 very small resources with the fish and bread. And it's just like growing up in the country is like, we have to be resourceful. We have to make the most of every opportunity, especially where we both grew up from. Growing up in Jones County in Trenton, North Carolina, I think we're just cut from a different cloth. You know, we don't have much opportunity. So to be able to share your wealth, to be able to share your knowledge, and to inspire, like you talk about legacy, the next generation, I think that's so powerful.
But thank you. I appreciate it.
So yeah. So let's get into this brand. Let's get into your brand, not this brand, but let's get into your brand, Dixon Brands. Tell us all about it.
All righty. Well, thank you. So just to tell you a little bit about Dixon Brands and my product, the No Contact Kit. So this is it right here. I have one here. So just to give you a little background on it. So basically I'm leaving Trenton and I'm headed back to Atlanta, where I currently quote unquote live. I'm in between here and there. And this is in May when a lot of states are basically still shut down, and it's towards Memorial Day. So, I'm driving and I make it to Augusta. And at this point, I have to use the restroom and I cannot hold it anymore. So when I get out the car, I'm talking your girl is dancing to the restroom. Like I can't, right? And so I'm headed toward the ladies' bathroom. And then I actually kind of accidentally walked into a lady there. And so I'm just like, oh my God, I can't wait for her to get out of there. The only other restroom that was available, unfortunately, was the men's restroom. So I'm like, Lord Jesus. Right,
Lord.
Right. Disgusting. And so I go in there and I do what I have to do, but I mean, the environment was terrible. It was horrific. I mean, you had all kind of stuff running down the toilet bowl. The toilet tissue that was in there was on the ground, filthy. There wasn't even a lot of soap, to be on my hands. And here's the thing. You would think that during a global pandemic, that when states are still shut down, that they would at least have clean restrooms, right? To prevent it, right? You would think that would happen, but it wasn't the case. And so thank God, after I finally did get to the car, I had my disinfectant wipes, I had my hand sanitizer, I had all my goodies that I had, right, in bulk form, but they were in my car so that I could make sure that I was sanitized and getting all that yucky stuff, from after just, having that experience in the restroom. So after I get back to Atlanta, 2 days later, I'm on the couch and I'm watching the news. And so I see this medical doctor. He's doing an interview, and he talks about his concern during Memorial Day and how the spread of COVID could occur in public restrooms. He was just like, I know it's Memorial Day, folks are gonna travel regardless. So I think people should start taking their own personal toiletry bags to the restroom, with the essentials that, that a person would want to need, headed to a restroom. And so then a light bulb went off. I started to reflect on the experience that I had just had 2 days prior on the way to Georgia. So I was just like, whoa, I think that this could be a solution to a problem. And so I started research. I'm looking on Amazon and I'm doing research on the internet to see if I could find something to fit, like your own toiletry, hygiene kit to, for public and communal restrooms. And so I find some kind of like it, but the essentials that I know I needed when I was in that restroom, like, the hand sanitizer, having the alcohol wipe that has above 70% alcohol volume, right? Having a pair of gloves in there so I don't have to touch the, the nasty doors and things like that. Having a durable toilet seat cover, extra large, so that, if you're in a place where you have to pull your, undergarments down, you don't have to worry about that, your clothes getting messed up with the nasty toilet bowl. And so what I did was I put together a kit to help meet that need and to solve that problem, so that when a person goes to a public or communal restroom, it'll provide safety and a sense of comfort, right? In case you have, or going to a restroom where you have a horrific experience like I had. And so
I wouldn't wish that on nobody to have that kind of experience, at all.
Terrible, bro, terrible. And I'm going to tell you another thing too. I was just reading an article a couple of days ago, and I actually made a post about this earlier this week, is that, folks that have COVID, they go in and use a toilet restroom, right? And, you know, when you flush the toilet, there's this thing called toilet flume. So it's just like, wow, your business is going down the toilet flume, or what we call a fecal matter, can spread up to 3 feet up in the air and out. So if a person has COVID, right, and they're using that restroom, and they flush that toilet, that stuff is spreading all over the bathroom. Baby, bad for business. Bad, right? Bad for business. But you wanna be able to protect yourself. It may seem like something small, but it's something that you could use as, you know, as a proactive measure.
Yeah. I mean, because even I didn't know that. And I think about those big travel stops. Like, okay, like I grew up, well, I didn't grow up, but I lived in Dallas, Texas for quite some time. And in Texas, they have this big gas station called Buc-ee's. I don't know if you've heard of Buc-ee's or not.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Buc-ee's is massive. And I think, shout out to Buc-ee's because they got clean bathrooms. I ain't going to sit there and hold you. They bathrooms is A1. But just that experience alone, like you said, if somebody uses the bathroom, has COVID, and it can spread up to 3 feet up in the air like that, I think about the amount of foot traffic that comes in. And it's spreading, and you have no clue. You have no clue whatsoever. And it's like, you know, you sit here and look at the numbers, and it's like, how is COVID going up at such a rapid rate? That could be one reason why.
Right. That's right. Right.
That is crazy to me, but that is so genius for God to give you that vision. That is so genius. I mean, this no contact kit is legit this is a vital kit to have during this pandemic.
I appreciate it. But that's the goal, right? That's the goal, to provide that, you know, extra bit of safety and sense of comfort. Now, I am by no means saying that it's going to prevent you catching COVID in case you run into somebody that had it. And I'm not saying that. But it's to give you that extra layer of protection. And I mean, it goes across the board, not just for traveling, right? You know, if you're in a flight or on a road trip or something like that. But also, I think about folks that are you know, still working day to day, right? So you have construction workers, you know, and they have to use porta potties. Disgusting, right? Or you're out at the park with your children and they have like a communal restroom, or you going to the beach, right? We know about those restrooms at Atlantic Beach. I mean, you don't want to deal with all that. You don't want to deal with all that. You have children, right? I mean, I think about travel nurses and CNAs that are going in and out of, you know, their clients' homes and things like that. So I feel like that this kit is not just limited toward like this time because it's during a global pandemic, but my vision is that this can be something that folks can use as a household item moving forward after we get past COVID.
And that's a good idea, because I think, you know, this pandemic has taught us that nothing is safe at all. Right. And we can do as, you know, protectors of this land is to ensure that, you know, we're taking all precautions possible to ensure that we're taking care of our neighbor at the best we can. Right. And be responsible. And be with it too, you know. It's because I mean, even at some point COVID will go away, you know. Right. Preferably. That's right. it will go away, but is how do we continue to be responsible with what we've been given, you know? And like this kid here, I mean, hey, it is like you said, it keeps up that responsibility. It's just having, again, going back to the original story from where we come up from, is, you know, being resourceful.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Being resourceful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'd like to mention another point too. So, you know, earlier this year, my family and I, we caught COVID. I mean, myself, my mom, my brother, my aunt, and her daughters as well. And so, because, you know, like right here in Trenton, you know, most family live right here on the same road. And when you have homes or, you know, close family that you normally depend on locked down like that, when you need items, it's tough, right? So, luckily my aunt had some of these no contact kits over there, and and so they actually used this while they had COVID. The toilet seat covers and things like that to kind of prevent cross contamination. They used these during that time. So yeah, it's definitely been used and been effective in that manner.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what is all in the kit?
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm glad you asked. So this is the kit here, and all right, that is everything in the kit.
Brandon is A1. Brandon got to be A1, and it's on point.
We still working. Thank you, but we
look, it's still on point now.
We still working on that because you know what? We're gonna be in Walmart and Costco and them places soon now. So
Amazon everywhere.
Amazon, yes sir. So we're gonna step that branding up another notch though. But thank you, I appreciate it. So this right here is the extra large toilet seat cover. All right, and it's extremely durable. One thing about this is it covers all sides of the toilet, right? So you don't have to worry about, again, if you pull your garments down, you don't have to worry about anything nasty and disgusting on the porcelain getting on your clothes. Another good thing about it is liquids or water or anything that may be on the toilet cannot penetrate this. So, oftentimes when you go to the public restroom, they have those cheap liners that you put on the toilet. There's something up there that's wet. It's absorbing it. You don't have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about that. Then you also have SafeTech hand sanitizer, single use, right? It has 66.8% alcohol volume, and it smells great. It smells like aloe vera. So oftentimes, you have that hand sanitizer that smell like tequila. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about that.
The hand sanitizer clear your sinuses up.
Okay. But and then we also have a 5x7 alcohol wipe. It contains 70% alcohol volume, and so this could be used for disinfecting the toilet. If you want to wipe something off in the restroom, you have that, or your hands. Next, we have a Castile soap wipe. So I get a lot of questions about the Castile soap wipe, and I absolutely love it. So in the event that you're in a public restroom and they don't have soap or water, because oftentimes some don't have any soap. This is soaped up, and it also has a nice little lather to it. So you can use this technically to, kind of wash your hands, but you can also use it on other body parts. Okay. Next, you have your napkins. All right, there, that can be used for anything, whether it's grabbing the door handle or other bodily parts. In case you don't have any toilet, in case you don't have no toilet paper now, or the toilet
being resourceful
over the floor. Right. In case it's rolling on the floor and you don't wanna, you have that in there. And then the last thing is you have latex-free, powder-free gloves. Yep, as that extra layer of protection, and that's what you have in your no contact kit.
Hey, you got what you need to get what you need to get done. That's what matters. That's what matters. I love, for me personally, I love how minimalist it is. It's not a lot, it's just enough. It's what you need.
Just enough.
It's not too much. It's not too less. It's just right.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And just to piggyback off your comment, so the kit can easily fit in someone's front pocket. Now, that'd be the only thing that's in there, but it can fit in your front pocket. Men out there. It can fit in a lady's purse or a backpack, easy to fit in the glove compartment. And also because, currently it's in a clear bag, everything that's in the kit, that has any liquid is below 3 ounces. So when it comes to, hopping on a flight, throw it in your suitcase and you're ready to go.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Because the convenience matters. The convenience really matters. And like you said, like it can fit in your pocket. Hey, the way they make phones now, I mean, shoot, hey, as bulky these phones and big as these phones are, you see how they going back to these small phones now. They realize, hey, these phones are too big for our pocket. So if you can fit that big old phone in there, you definitely can fit a no contact kit in your pocket.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And since you said that, we can do a little comparison here. So you you got the no contact kit beside the phone, so that can fit in your pocket.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, ain't no excuse. Ain't no excuse to take care of yourself and your neighbor. Ain't no excuse at all.
That's right. And so, but yeah, that's what I have here. And I've had a couple questions like, Tan, are you gonna create more products and things like that? This is the flagship, so I'm gonna push this. I'm going to push it, and we'll see where it goes. But I'll say, by faith that we will have other products. And
awesome.
Who knows, maybe we can offer some services as well. But that's what we have right now.
And that's what I was getting ready to ask, is, what's next for the brand? Where do you see this going? And I think that's so awesome that, the foresight this is the flagship, but it's also so many opportunities and doors is getting ready to open because of this.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. Most definitely. We've had, and the family and I, we've had some discussions. So we have some things, but first we're going to perfect what we have, meet the needs, see how we can impact lives, and then move forward. So speaking of impacting lives, one of the things that I want to do is, when we had COVID, it was extremely tough. I'm telling you, tough. And it was so bad that, my mom, she was in the hospital for 6 days. Tough. Yeah, extremely tough. One thing that I want to do is I want to impact lives. That's one thing that, Pastor talks about is impacting lives and other folks' lives in an amazing way, right? And walking out and serving in purpose that way. Because we had several family members who had COVID, it was hard kind of getting folks to make runs. And we had one specific family that drove 2 hours. They're from Eastern North Carolina, but northern Eastern North Carolina. They drove 2 hours, it's the Boone family actually, to help give us supplies when we're in need. So from cleaning supplies to food to, Tylenol and things like that. And so I want to do is I want to have some type of drive where I'm able to supply families with no contact kits, right, as a preventative measure, but then also other essentials like Tylenol, keep the fevers down if they're having them, vitamin C packs and things like that, to help be able to impact their lives while they're going through the thick of it, because it's tough. And oftentimes when you see families that have COVID, people are asked, what do you need? What do you need? But at that point, it's so much going on that you really don't know what you need. But just having someone to be there to serve without asking, it makes a difference. But also thinking about, in these blessing bags, maybe having ginger ale, Gatorade, chicken noodle soup, things like that, that'll be able to help make a difference. It may not be a whole lot, but the thought and having somebody that's there to willingly give during those rough times really make a difference. So things that I want to do. So stay on the lookout for that. I'll be definitely be reaching out to some folks about seeing if I can create partnerships around it. And I'll say for the most part, right now I want to do it in Eastern North Carolina. Right, that's a community that has served all of us for so long. And I definitely would love to give back in that way. So, Mike, you want to partner, any folks that want to partner, we want to definitely make a difference in the lives of folks here in Trenton, some in North County as well as Craven.
Right. I think that's something that we're gonna get after. No, you already got my support, so you already know that.
Okay, well, thank you.
Once that get off the ground, you already know the IronMike Podcast is gonna stand behind that. We're gonna brand that thing on out, and because end of the day is Eastern North Carolina has really truthfully made us who we are,
Yes,
And
sir.
if we can help our folks out the best way possible, I mean, hey, you know, because like you mentioned, you know, especially in the rural areas, it's not like, you know, if you live in the suburbs where you got like a DoorDash or Uber Eats, something like for food, right? You can't do like DoorDash or Uber Eats in Trenton.
Right.
This is
Right.
not going to work. You have to be resourceful, and you have to rely truthfully on others to help you out in those times. And if you can provide this service to other people around the area, I mean, it's gonna impact lives. It really is.
Right. Right. Yep. But
So I'm excited to see when this kicks off.
well, thank you. I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you. Thank you so much.
No doubt. No doubt. So for those that may want to get your kit,
Right.
where can they?
All right. So they can find the kit at www.dixonbrands.com. I'm also on Instagram at Dixon, DIXON_brands. And then my Facebook page is just Dixon Brands. And so those are the social media handles. That's the website. Reach out. And if you have any questions or anything like that, reach out. You can reach out on Facebook or Instagram. You know, we're here, happy to help and happy to answer any questions that anyone may have.
Awesome. So before we close, is there anything else that you want to say for the folks? Is there anything else that you want to hit on, or any closing remarks you would like to make?
All I can say is, I guess as a word of inspiration, if God is giving you an idea or put something on the inside of you, have faith and take the lead. Because, I mean, the Bible talks about God gives us all witty inventions and ideas. And I can recall so many times God giving me ideas, but I sat on them. Multi-million-dollar ideas. Not just like, super complicated things, small, innovative ideas that could have definitely, caused a paradigm shift, I feel. And I'm still thinking about those as well. But because of faith and because of my lack of belief in what God put on the inside of me, I sat on them. So I just want to encourage anybody out there that if God gives you an idea, have faith and leap out, take a leap and move forward with that.
Drop the mic on that. That's powerful.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Drop the mic. That's awesome. Well, Tan, I thank you so much for your time. I thank you so much for stopping by through the podcast. First Vodcast, by the way. Truly just blessing, us with your time and also with your resources as well. I'm definitely wishing you much success with your brand. I already know it's going to be great, just as you are.
Thank you. I appreciate it, sir. Likewise.
No doubt. Any way we can help out in my brand and getting exposure out there, that's what it's all about. It's just, taking care of the family, and you're a part of the family.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Gonna make sure you straight. So hey, y'all, this has been the first Vodcast. Another podcast, but this is another first Vodcast of the IronMike Podcast. I hope that y'all enjoyed this conversation. Make sure y'all go get y'all no contact kit, because God knows COVID still running crazy out here. So man, let's do our part, man, to just flatten the curve and just take care of one another and stay safe during these times. Make sure you subscribe on all streaming platforms. Until the next podcast, man, it's been real. Love y'all. Peace.